There is no quippy intro today. No great hook to pull you in. I've been taking this video course and there's like these rules you got to do a quippy little hook that's going to really get people excited. And after yesterday, guys, I ain't got it. I'm just, I did. Welcome. I'm Dawnita from prairiedusttrail.com. How? I have 5 fingers, so you know that. Um, Oh my goodness. Yesterday was just a pickle. And the platform, I'm trying to get fancy schmancy on the platforms. The platform that I was using was not cooperating with me. Not at all. Did not want to cooperate with me. And so yeah, I'm going back to the old Zoom thing and we'll try and see how this works. Hopefully it will work better. So we will share screen. And hopefully this works this time. The one thing that I do not like about Zoom, if you know anything about these things, um, is the fact that it puts all its goodies up at the top. So if you're wanting to change tabs, the Zoom stuff's all in the road and it's annoying. Anyway, I wanted to share this. This was from Ken Ham, and I definitely disagree with him on a few things here lately over the last several years, but this stands. And Shelly from There's No Place Like Home did a nice little mom rant the other day, last week. If you have not watched it, please do go back and watch it. Everybody needs a good mom rant every once in a while. A mama's gonna tell you this, and she's got 12 children, so she definitely has the experience and the expertise for a good mom rant, and she did a good job. But this explains Christianity and churchianity. I'm gonna throw that in there versus the enemy. Okay, this is doing creation versus evolution, but this is really, believers versus non-believers in the enemy. And we've got believers sitting here shooting at each other. They're all trying to, they're shooting at the wind. They're they're shooting at the balloons up here. And while the enemy here is throwing grenades and cannonballs down at our foundation. Okay. And we let them do it. As a matter of fact, we help them because we fuss at each other all the time. And so anyway, I had to share that. Ugh. Okay, so somebody asked about the phases of the moon. And I hate watching my own videos, but I will go back and watch this before I post it and make sure that everything works right. Um, the phases of the moon here, this is basically it. You have a time period where the moon is dark. This is showing the full moon. But this in between here, you have a time period of 2 or 3 days that the moon is dark. And there's like 28 to 30 days in each month, lunar month. Okay. So you have the first quarter, a half, third quarter. Yeah, I don't know what all they're called, but this is the basics. Okay. And what the globular thinkers think and what I think can be a couple of different things. Okay. So that kind of gives you a beginning. Oh, I wanted to start. I wanted to be really good this time. Let's go here. Let's see. Bible verse for the day. For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of his own mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. And the verse for yesterday was really, really good as well. Um, and I put that on the video, and hopefully I recorded that somewhere so I can put that on the video again. And what we were doing yesterday was watching this. Okay. You can get on here on this weather.cod.edu for the satellite radar thing. Okay. And I pull up my little area here, and we've got Amarillo down in here, Oklahoma City over in here, and Wichita in here. This is New Mexico. This is Colorado. Okay. And in 2017, the whole thing was basically the whole thing was on fire. All of this was on fire. 4 states. 1, 2, 3, 4 states. Whoosh, was up in flames. It was the year after Senator Inhofe tried to pass in Congress a military thing that we've all kind of seen recently. He tried to pass that in 2016 and 2017. We had this, and we had trees burning from the inside out, smoldering from the inside out for days, like they had been cooked in the nuker. And just trees, beautiful old cottonwoods blowing up in the pasture weeks after the fires. So it started March 6th, 2017, and we fought it for a good long time. So these dark areas here are where this big O fire here is still smoldering. There's a little bit over here. There's a little bit here. That was a really big one yesterday. I thought some friends of ours had maybe lost their homes, but praise the Lord, they have not. I haven't heard officially here. This is a nice big area here. So in 2017, I definitely believe it was devastating, energized wind. I had something better this morning, but anyway, you get the put capitals on each one of those, and then, definitely 2017, that's what it was. This, I'm not going to say there wasn't some of that maybe, but that's not what it looks like. Okay. Somebody on Instagram was asking, and I don't know if I got my point across, because I get deleted off of platforms for saying things. Anyway, yeah, devastating. Uh, yeah, yeah, an incredible. That's an I, not an E. Yeah, wins are. Anyway, Enid has an Air Force base over in this area, and those jets fly out over here doing training stuff all the time. And we have seen them do some things that maybe, yeah, aren't maybe on the record. Okay. And there's on reply, boys, and then there's mean, right? So anyway, there's this that happened. And then there's, and I know I'm jumping around, I'm really sorry. Let's see, I actually wanted to go to this. This is the Oklahoma, just the Oklahoma. This isn't Texas. This is the Oklahoma fires. And of course, they'll put Northeast, East Central, and Southeast Oklahoma. Western Oklahoma is always an afterthought. Okay. So you've got 100, 400, 500, 700, almost 800 acres here on this. But you get over here in this part, and we've got 30,000 acres in this one. We have almost 80,000 acres burned in this one. Okay. And yeah, this is always the most important. This is just outside of the protection area, because Oklahoma doesn't really consider the panhandle in Northwest Oklahoma to be part of Oklahoma. And I'm not understanding why we don't, annex and, but anyway, I don't know if we don't want to become part of Kansas. I promise you that. And we wonder about Texans. So anyway, and Oklahoma County commissioners are so amazing that if they have put in burn bans, they haven't turned them in. So I don't know what's up with that, but you'd think with all this going on, there would be burn bans all over the place. And, we kind of count on people having some common sense, and hopefully they do, but it doesn't always happen. So anyway, that was the situation report as of this morning, saying how much is contained. These are considered 0% contained, but I know some friends that have, got back on their land and their property. Praise the Lord, houses. I know on that my reports are saying from the slap out fire, from this one right here, no houses were, no inhabited houses, and I'll put it that way, were burned down. So praise the Lord, everybody's okay. As far as I know, we haven't lost any uh, people lives. I have some friends that their bottle calves died and their heifers died. Um, so, lots of livestock, um, not doing so good. Okay, microphone. Okay, microphone. Hopefully you can still hear me. My computer just did a number on me. So, okay. I don't know if that's a Zoom thing or what's happening. Stop share. Oh, my video went. Says my mic is up. I don't know which one it's using. Okay, it's flipping back and forth. That video went again. That's weird. So I don't know if it's, boy, and this is a completely different platform from what I used yesterday. So if you watched yesterday's video and then you get to watch this one, and I have all kinds of tech issues, I think we need to pray against gremlins. Dear Lord, Father in heaven, please get rid of the tech gremlins today and help us to get information out that needs to be get out. Bless the people who watch this video and help each one of them in the way that you know that they need to be helped. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, let us try this again. All right, hopefully that's showing up. Now, let's see. Okay, moon pictures. That's what I wanted to. Oh, I was going to go back over to this. Um, I like the Oklahoma Mesonet. He went ahead and put the situation report in there. We're he kind of gives the, normal rainfall and stuff, consecutive days without rain that has been, we're pretty dry out here right now. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of help in sight. Let's see, temperature for Saturday is going to be going back up. So if we don't get moisture in between, see, they don't put the panhandle in here at all. You don't see Guyman in this. It's not covered. Even though Mesonet actually has a couple of stations in the panhandle, they still don't. One of their first stations that they ever had was in the panhandle. So anyway, yeah, critical fire weather in the area that they don't cover. So anyway, that's kind of where I get my stuff. It comes in my inbox. I have signed it up. You can go to ticker.mesonet.org and I think you can sign up. Yeah, for the ticker if you're interested in that. If you're not in Oklahoma, look in your state, look for Mesonet in your state, and they may not be as entertaining as Oklahomans are, but they might be. I don't know. I'm not going to say otherwise, right? So let's see. So I want to go back to moon stuff, share screen. Let's just pull this one up. Share. Okay. So we've got moon stuff here. Hopefully that helps. And this was the 11th. So this is just kind of going through the month that Paul, my husband, and he's not here right now. He was chiming in with the other video that didn't turn out so well. And you guys couldn't see anything that we were talking about. So that's kind of annoying. But he goes out there and takes pictures nearly every night. Some of these are really out of focus. It's kind of hard to get things. That one's kind of cool in focus. But, you know, this is at the beginning. This is basically at the beginning of the month, which started around the 11th of February. And then as we go further into the month, then he starts getting it. You know, it becomes more full. Let's see. I've got dates on these that I can pull up. So that one, that was the 15th. So going through the month, and you've got it just not quite a half there. And then this one is also the 15th. I'm looking at dates here off screen. Some of them are kind of fuzzy. Some of them are pretty good. He tries to get in there pretty close. I don't know where it is there. And he was saying that it was only like 13 days in between like the first sliver and the half. So that, let's see what day this is. This is the 18th. So that was, and the one before was the 15th. Okay, so this is the 18th. This is the 15th. And this is the 18th. So from the 11th, when the first sliver was basically seen. Okay, here. And it should be about 14 days between first sliver and the actual full moon, right? And so that would be by the 25th, we should have the full moon on this, right? Let's see where we're at. This one is the 18th. Yeah. That is 18th. Then we have the 22nd, which looks pretty full. And it wasn't supposed to be full until the 24th from the 11th. See what we mean? And that already looks pretty stinking full. And he's trying to get in here and show, you know, how much shadow we're kind of seeing around it. So there might be a little bit there. Maybe it wasn't completely full yet. That's the 23rd. Just looking very, very full, you know? He's gonna zoom in on it here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kind of stuffed up between the weather going from 80 to 50 yesterday, get the cough drop, and all of the smoke and stuff blowing around. And then they were moving around hay yesterday too. The family was to try to, get things moved around. So, yeah. Hopefully they'll have enough time before the next heat wave hits to get things doused with water really well. We just really need some rain, snow, something. So if you guys are getting too much moisture wherever you're at, go outside and blow in our direction. We would really appreciate it. We just really need and the the weather people that are cloud seeding over the top of us all the time. I don't know what they're actually using to cloud seed, but it's not doing any good because when they do, their circles and circles and circles over the top of us, it always seems like it gets dark or it gets drier instead of actually, it seems like people east of us end up flooded and we just end up more dry. Okay. This one is the 24th. So we're getting closer to when it should actually be the full moon here. And lovely ice crystals. I mean, we always like to see some good ice crystal action going on. Lovely ice crystals makes it really, he said with all of this beautiful ice crystal haze, it makes it really, really not so easy to get these images to, because yeah, it's hard. Okay, so this is still the 24th. And it wasn't supposed to actually be full until the 25th. Some of these are really fuzzy. But he's trying, guys. I think he's doing a good job. Look a little bitty over there. And that was looking off to the west. And let's see. This is the 25th. So this should actually be a full moon right here. So we've got several days that actually look like a full moon. It was like it was full for a really long time. And we should have a new moon where it's completely dark for a couple of days. That's normal, but a full moon for several days in a row isn't as normal. And I'm sure somebody's got a good explanation for this. These are just our observation and what we're kind of seeing, right? Again, the lovely ice crystals. He did pretty good on this one. And you have to remember this stuff is moving all the time. So trying to get zeroed in on things is really, I do not have the patience for this. I just absolutely do not have the patience to be out there doing pictures and video. Yeah, he's got tons more patience than I've got. Again, I think this is still the 25th. on, tell me. Yep, still the 25th. Well, I think this might be, that's the 27th. So that was yesterday. So all of this right here was what he did yesterday. I'll get that zoomed in there here in a minute. Oh, well, yeah, getting busy. You see some earth movement going on there. So there's the sun to the west. And then he's moving over to the east. And no, this is to the west. The sun was to the east. So this is in the morning. Early morning yesterday, sun to the west and the moon to the east. So there's the moon pictures that I was trying to show you yesterday that were not coming up. And yeah, just very. So what I was trying to get at, what was I trying to get at? I don't even know. I was such a basket case yesterday. So I really was. It was terrible, guys. This kind of stuff happens, and there's like some PTSD that goes on from 2017. That was a rough year. It was just a rough year. We had a terrible ice storm in January, and March were the terrible fires. And in April, my father-in-law passed away, and then we had some other family issues where I no longer have contact with the majority of my family anymore, which is a good thing, but it was really hard during the process, you know? So anyway, this is how it should be. And like I said, oh, that's what I was going to show you. I had a really neat, I found a website. Okay, not this one. Not this one. We have Book of Enoch. Okay, now this is a Glober, so excuse him, but he was kind of going through. This is a PDF that you can come up with, and I don't know if I'll remember to put this in the thing or not. I'll try to remember to put it in the description. But interesting, he's kind of going through the Book of Enoch and how the days and times are supposed to be. In the Book of Enoch, at the beginning, it said, and see, yeah, we'll just ignore that part. Anyway, so this is how it should be. So the very first sliver of the new moon should be like the first day of the month. And then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, and you're getting to halvesies here, right? And then the 14th, you've got 14, 15. Now I got that highlighted. So I think that's halvesies, and this is where I'm saying, you know, full moon, it seemed like it was early this time. And it was there for a long time. And then you go down in this document, and then he's got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You know, that's what he was showing on the other one. And then you go down to the dark of the moon. And so the month lasts somewhere between 28 and 30 days, usually. But it seems like we've had some 31-day months here lately, lunar months, which is a little unusual. And girls are definitely noticing a difference in cycles. Men Men have cycles too. They have lunar cycles too. It's different, of course, for a man. And don't come at me if you're part of the rainbow community. I'm just stating, you know, lunar stuff here. Okay. These are fact. I'm not stepping on anybody else's truth here, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we all go through a cycle. And you know, you'll go through emotional things and all kinds of stuff during these times because it you know, however the Lord worked it out, it affects our hormones and everything else. And teachers will tell you right around the full moon, they have the hardest time with the children. Children need to spend more time outside during full moon time period. They need to be outside doing physical activity as much as possible and just really using those creative juices. And then you get into the new moon and it's darker at night. You should be resting more likely. And of course, adults, it seems to affect adults backwards of what it does with children. Children have got all this energy in this time, and the adults are pooed out. So that's why, you know, have a nice fenced in backyard, send the children outside and have them have at it. I like to just provide our children with as many resources as possible for creativity. So we've got like tons of, you know, sciency, you know, things that they can play with and do. Uh, they we have it's not a very good microscope. It's a pretty cheap microscope. Lots of magnifying glasses and things like that so that they can just explore the world. I love the little bug catchers for the spring, summer, and fall where they can catch bugs and they can put them in the little, you know, the little boxes with the screen around them. Brain's not clicking today really well. Um, you know, just let them have at it. Get them away from the screens as much as possible. I don't like having young children on the computer at all until they're in their later teens, and they do not need to learn coding or, you know, typing or any of that kind of stuff until they're in their teens. They learn it really fast once they get there. So there's no such thing as behind when it comes to the children learning this stuff. So anyway, I hope that kind of helps. It'd be nice if he had this all in one thing, but I understand why he doesn't. And I will try to leave this link for you guys to check that out. Um, and the Book of Enoch, if you don't have it yet, it is free here. There are some people online. I think the Ezekiel 33:3 guy reads it, and he's got a wonderful, comforting, deep voice. And I believe he actually goes through and reads it. So if you like audio, check him out. I'll see if I can find his channel and share that. So, and this right here goes through all of them. And yeah, it starts talking about things. And then let's see. One of the things that I was looking at, and I had looked at this last time, and I'm going to tie this in because there's 6 gates, according to the Book of Enoch. It gives you the chapter here. 6 gates that the sun and the moon both go through. Okay, these gates are portals. And it goes back and forth through these. So there's basically 12, basically. So it's 6 gates, but they go through each one, you know, twice as they go back and forth. So there's a 12 here. Remember that. All right. So let's see. So the tabernacle, and I love the Project 314. If you want to look that up, I think it's project314.org. the way they explain the tabernacle, the first homeschool project that we did, we built a sample of the tabernacle with like toothpicks and fabric and stuff. And the girls were really little, our first two, and they were like 3 and 4 at the time. And it doesn't add up if you're trying to do it in a rectangle. And I had my math brain had a terrible time with it. It had a really hard time with it. But once I saw this project 314, and this is for pi 3.14, blah, 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 blah. It was like, well, duh, why didn't I think of that? So there's a lot of people that are a lot smarter than I am. Anyway, when the tabernacle was set up, the tribes, we had Dan, Naphtali, and Asher to the north, and Zebulun, Judah, and Issachar to the east, Gad, Simeon, and Reuben to the south, Manasseh, Ephraim, and Benjamin to the west. Okay. And each one of these has their own stone, and the stones can be, it's hard, different people will put the stones in, assign the stones differently according to the, as far as the crystals to each, or rocks or whatever, to the tribes differently. So I just was kind of going on just a basic, and then they each had a certain animal or symbol or something on their banners, and those are different too. Some of them put a unicorn on Ephraim instead of a bull, and then an ox on Manasseh. And I thought, what if this was similar to the quote unquote, here's one of the things that I got on the stones. And Exodus 28:17 is talking about the ephod breastplate that the priests would wear and what these different stones are. Okay, so that's where I got that. And there are a couple of different sources for this, and they don't all agree. And like this one puts Levi as one of the stones, and Manasseh, I mean, I would understand doing Levi, but then why wouldn't you do Ephraim and Manasseh? I don't think they didn't put Dan in here. So this is almost like the ephod according to the book of Revelation instead of according to so and honestly, the tribe of Dan has probably with some of their, I don't know. Anyway, so they've got Levi here instead of Dan. Levi wasn't considered one of the tribes. They were considered the priests. So yeah. And sometimes they'll put Manasseh and Ephraim together as Joseph. So anyway, it's interesting. And then there's this. And this is the Egyptian Dendera. It was, and I put this in the community so you guys could see these images and you can pull them up yourself. This sculpture was in the ceiling of the pronaos of a chapel dedicated to Osiris in the Hathor temple in Dendera. And then it is now housed, supposedly, according to Smithsonian Magazine, in the Louvre in Paris. So that's actually what it looks like. Basically, the inside of a dome. Here is what the carvings actually are, and then here is a color representation. And in this color representation, they actually put the constellations, the main constellations of the quote unquote zodiac, around it. And what started this was I was having a conversation with one of my subscribers and telling her that because I was born in July, so that's the one that they assigned to me. And they always say, well, the crab walks backwards and it has such and so to do with your personality and blah, blah, blah. Well, and I'm like, it's kind of funny whenever I found out that it's actually a scarab, a dung beetle, instead of a crab. Uh, and, I definitely do not believe that these have anything to do with your personality. So, God places your personality. And I can tell you from experience that psychics and stuff are really, really good at saying things that will apply to anybody. That your mind will just automatically apply them to something in your life, but they can apply to anybody. And I did it before whenever I was in there. I was raised New Age, so I understand. So my book, and I'll pull that up because I had that up with the Star Chronicles, a Bible-based study of the stars. I did this, and if I'm just, you know, if you saw the last one and this was part of what you did see, then I'm sorry, you're getting it all over again, in a different package. But I wrote this. We actually, for homeschool project, we scrapbooked through the stars and constellation. Um, and it's very interesting. I believe that Noah and his family had the constellations tell the story of Jesus, and they had that promise for them whenever they stepped off the ark. And so I believe they knew what this means. So it is not zodiac, not telling the future, none of that kind of stuff. This is actually a study of the constellations and the original star names and how they apply to Yeshua. They tell the story, they tell the gospel is what they do. And because I don't like the Greek and Hebrew images, they're not real child friendly. We ended up putting stickers on body parts and stuff whenever we did the scrapbooking. So I drew my own and I made a coloring book out of it. I did have this coloring book for free in my newsletter. And I don't remember if I've got that linking that to that anymore, and I may have it in the Patreon. If you are a member, if you are in my newsletter, then if you don't have the coloring book, email me and I'll send you a digital copy that you can print off yourself. And if you're in the Patreon and you don't see it in there, then message me in Patreon and I will make sure I'll get it uploaded. But anyway, yeah, some people like to give it as a gift, a set. Anyway, I had some friends asking, hey, put this into a unit study curriculum so we can do this with our children. So originally that's what I did. But then whenever I was going to book signings and libraries and stuff like that, I had more adults interested in it. And they were doing adult Bible studies and stuff like that. And so I went ahead and made it smaller, put some of it on Kindle. It is expensive because the star charts are colored, the colors of the stars, because stars have different colors and stuff. And I thought that was interesting. And of course, this was pre 2017. So I was still in a globular thinking scenario there. Um, but the Bible verses and everything are all, and the images are more based on biblical, instead of, there. So I did change the images and stuff according to more of a biblical viewpoint on things. So like Aquarius, it would be Jesus, fishers of men, right? Telling them that fishing. Um, Pegasus would be Jesus coming in on the clouds on the winged horse, things like that. So, and Gemini, two shepherds. And yeah, and very interesting how the star names actually go through and tell the story. So anyway, let's see, what else were we doing? Got to go through my stuff here and see, did I cover everything? I think I covered everything. Got that. Oh, that's what I was gonna turn around and go back to. Just going to do a general screen share, hopefully. Share screen, and I'm just gonna do regular share screen. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. So this here and this here. These down. And then I had, oh yeah. And then you guys will see my mess. And then if we pull up this one, no. So these right here are going counterclockwise. And to me, it looks like it should be going clockwise. And somebody said, if you're looking down from God at Polaris, from his throne at Polaris, then it would be counterclockwise to him from God's perspective. So that's an interesting thought. But from us looking up at the stars, everything's going clockwise. So if we had, let me pull another thing up. Ooh, I wonder if I can. Yeah, I'm not sure. So if we pull this booger up and find one that is not a purchasey thing. Oh, good grief. Oh, Pinterest. That might be the safest one. Oh, and a new tab. Nope. It's a purchase one too. Anyway, if you go to, let's see. Oh, Eddie. Let's see. I wish he had it listed in his about stuff, but he does not. So that means I have to pull it up here. And yeah, here we go. And in his, no, thank you. In his, I think he's got it in all of his information now. You got a blue one and your red one. And this is you can download it yourself for free. Ah, no, that's a purchase thing. Blast it. Poster store. Oh, he had a free download. I wonder where it went. Well, I'm sorry. I'll have to find that. But I've got the free download in my stuff. But anyway, really cool. So if you take this, then I will get to the point here. And you superimpose and look at this. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? No. Just kind of, and then we think that the sun and the moon go around this way, right? And the stars, when they're doing their circuit, it's like that kind of a thing. So if you've got your constellations, your main constellations and their partners going around this way, which ones do you think would have to do with the different tribes? Which ones would fit? And I think we would have something. And then if we go to this, you know, again, you would have the east, you know, and oh, I guess this is east. And then this would be west, maybe. And you'd have the north and the south, maybe. Anyway, interesting thought process. My brain goes in crazy directions. Oh, yeah, the other thing that I was going to show you. I'm going to figure myself out here. Hopefully, I don't know how much time I've got left. Close some things out here. The timeline. All right. This is what I've been working on lately. I've been working on doing the math in the Bible for the timeline. I did really good coming through. I put question marks on ones that I'm not quite sure of. This one's pretty firm date from creation. Okay. These darker ones are pretty firm dates that I'm pretty sure of where we're at here. You start getting into these kings and it starts getting a little confusing because it says this king reigned from this king so many years into this king's reign, plus however many years he reigned, type of thing. So in the 37th year of Joash's reign, which would be from his reign, the king of Judah, let's see, began Judah Jehoaz to reign over Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 16 years, which came up with that date. So that's when his reign ended. That's when his reign ended. And I did fairly good with it. I mean, it was pretty interesting the way God has that laid out so that it like double checks itself. So whenever I started feeling like I was getting really confused, then it'd switch over to the other tribe, the other kingdom, the two kingdoms, and it was like double checking me. And I might be off like a year or two because you don't know what time of the year each one of them. Well, it says with some of them what time of the year, but it definitely doesn't say with all of them what time of the year. So there could be, 6, 9 months difference, and that could eventually add up to an extra year in there. So I wasn't too worried about that if I'm a year or so off. And then you get into here, and some of them he reigned 3 months. So, you get a few that he reigned 3 months, things like that. But then we have, and I'm fairly certain until we get to Cyrus, king of Persia. And then after that, we've just got a mess. And I'm trying to go into Maccabees and some of the Apocrypha works to see if there's any additional stuff that will, you know, tell me what the years might have actually been. I mean, and then I'm going to, there's been a lot of math going on. And if you would like a copy of this, email me at Dawnita at prairie-trail.com and I will get you a copy. And we can, double check each other. And so if you would like to work on this with me, I would love that. And yeah, I will get a copy of this to you. And I'm going to be starting on the after Yeshua's reign, going into that here and trying to figure out where we're missing time, where they've jacked with things. That's probably a terrible way to say it. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, that's where I'm going to be now. So I've had a hard time concentrating on doing videos because math takes a lot for me. I love math. I absolutely love math. My plan before it got hijacked by Mr. Paul Fogleman was to become a nuclear astrophysicist. So Yeah, mathy things. I love them. But, I've had 6 children and lots of Paul Fogelman since then. So, oh, my brain is just, yeah, there. So, anyway, that's what you were supposed to see yesterday. And I think I've actually fit this in less than an hour video. I'm thrilled with myself. Zoom doesn't tell me how long it's been recording, but hopefully you could see it all this time and on take 2. And hopefully that helps. And hopefully you're less confused than I am now. And please pray for the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle. And, I don't mind praying for Kansas too, even though I disagree with a lot of their politics. I pray for the people. Definitely pray for the people because I know they're dry too. And the next week or so before our extra winter kicks back in, because we will. Summer isn't here yet. Winter is not over. It's just, we can have 5 seasons in one day in Oklahoma. So the Great Plains need prayer. We need lots of moisture out here in this part of the world. And I really, 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 really appreciate your prayers. So I hope this video turned out a lot better. I'm really sorry for all of the glitches here lately. I've really been trying to figure out the StreamYard program because I can have more people on and have the slides and stuff. And for some reason, the slides aren't. I mean, we're just going to keep praying against the tech gremlins because they are not allowed on this channel. Period. End of story. Absolutely not allowed. So I hope I answered some questions or maybe even sparked some more questions. So if you have some input on this, please do. If you have some, some more questions, please let me know. Put in the comments, email me, whatever. I love hearing from you guys. Most of y'all are a lot more intelligent than I am, so you're doing good. If you haven't seen Shelly's mom rant, go over there and see. I think she named it. I suggested that she name it When Christians Eat Their Own, but she was being nicer than I would have been with her comment section. And I think she named it The Enemy Loves It when Christians act like this or something like that. So definitely go over and watch it because that's something that we all probably need reminders of sometimes. Um, we need to be kinder to each other and we need to give grace. We're not all going to be on the same page. We're not all the same part of the body. We've got to remember that. Some people are the ear, some people are fingers, some people are feet. They all have different perspectives. If you ask the foot what it's seeing a whole lot of dirt and ground. If you ask the ear what it's seeing, well, it's covered up with hair. If you ask the fingers what they're seeing and feeling, it's all different. And we all have different perspectives. And we need to remember that. And as we are exploring things and checking different ideas out, we need to have grace with each other. And a lot of people get upset because they get used to having somebody else do their thinking for them. And when that person starts changing their thinking or starts exploring other things, it disrupts their paradigm. Don't place your paradigm or your thought process in somebody else's head, ever, ever. I love Shelley to pieces, but I don't want her to think for me. And I sure don't want to be thinking for her, right? And her and I do a lot of back and forth. We do disagree with each other on several things, and we still love each other and pray for each other and communicate with each other. And let's do that. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're brothers and sisters. And when do brothers and sisters always get along? Or always agree with each other? I've got 6 children and they have completely different perspectives on life and the world around them, and that's good. That's what gives us the variety and stuff that the Lord wants us to have. So yeah, I will stop on my own little personal mom rant because she does a really good job of it. Man, I love y'all, and thank you for your patience with all of the tech issues and stuff. And please do pray against the tech gremlins, and tell them that they are not allowed on my channel or Shelly's channel, or understanding conspiracy, which I'm going to have them both on a 10 hat talk with me in March. I am so looking forward to this. And I think yeah, I've got some plans. I've got some plans. So if you have any questions for us, definitely let me know. Anything that you would like for us to specifically discuss, hash out, or toss around. Uh, it should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. So anyway, remember, you can make it through the dust storms of life with God's divine help.